Thank you for listening to Shy Sox Talk with your hosts, Chris and Matt, your weekly place for White Sox fan reactions. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy the show.
And welcome to episode 29 of Shy Sox Talk. My name is Chris. Typically, I have my co-host Matt. Tonight, he is celebrating winning the Super Bowl of life, and we have Tony. What's up, man?
What's going on? Glad to be here.
Tony is a lifelong Sox fan and a Southsider. What's your favorite Sox memory before we kind of dive into this?
Ooh, I don't know.
Here's an interesting one. I was at Mark Burley's game against the Blue Jays, and I think it was his fastest game of all ever.
Oh, the one where he did in like 2.5 hours or something?
Oh, it was like an hour 50 something.
It was under 2 hours.
Guy just got the ball and worked.
Yeah.
He didn't even. The first time you showed him, he's throwing it. Perfect game and no hitter. It should be in the Hall of Fame. And it's bullshit that he's not on the ballot anymore. Hall of Fame voting is stupid. Barry Bonds should be in there too.
Clemens.
Rose, yes. Get them all in.
Yeah. David Ortiz failed a drug test that Sammy Sosa did, and they put him in because he's big, smiley, happy, big poppy, and that is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Most clutch hitter of all time. Fuck off. He's not.
Yeah. Bonds is
It's,
the
Best hitter of all time, too. He needs to be in.
Bond's the best
Yeah.
one. Paul Konerko's the most clutch Grand Slam in the World Series.
Yeah.
And I think if Ortiz ever did that, so, you know. So we got a couple questions. One that's a big one, sent to us on Instagram from our boy Lucas. Do the White Sox bring back Tony La Russa? And if so, how do they do it so the team doesn't fall apart? I will let you. I'll let you lead this off.
I just say no.
Right off the bat, I don't think you can. There's no way.
They would bring him back.
I even think this is
Maybe just a
PR stunt to get the team going. He might be unhealthy, but I mean, I don't think they have a plan to bring him back.
I don't think so either. He had a pacemaker put in, so I know that's a legitimate. Like he had a actual health scare. He had a pacemaker put in out in Arizona, but I don't think you can bring him back. Miguel Cairo, after today's 11-4 is your acting manager. The team's the number one batting team in the league over the last 15 games. I think there's a direct correlation between the White Sox winning baseball games and Tony La Russa not being in the dugout.
Yeah, 100%.
He did insane things all season, walked a bunch of guys with 2 strikes, would bat Larry Garcia in the leadoff spot, Brandon Dalton leadoff spot. Pretty sure he batted Danny Mendick clean up one day. He just doesn't make any sense in any of his moves. Can't bring him back. Team will fall apart. So, as the world turns here, TA is going to be coming back soon. The Oakland A's gifted the Chicago White Sox Elvis Andrus. As a White Sox, he is batting .313, has an OPP of .358, slugging .525, and OPS of .884. Question is, what do you do with him when Tim comes back? What roster moves do you make? Tim is supposed to be back in a week.
Me personally,
I'm either keeping Elvis at 1 or pushing him to 9 and putting TA at 1.
or vice versa.
And I would try to slide Elvis to 2nd, and we need him in the lineup. And I don't know where else he would go. I know we were talking the other day about Romy, how he's been playing well, but Elvis is probably the hottest hitter on the team after Eloy right now. I think you either keep him at 1 or you move him to 9, unless you want to put Elvis at 2 and lead Tim off, but. TA is the shortstop when he comes back, I think.
You definitely start TA at shortstop. There's no question about that. You could move Elvis to second base and put Rami on the bench. I think in that world, you DFA Leury Garcia because a contending team who wants to win a World Series will do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't keep him on the team and sending Rami down. You could bat him at 9, TA behind him, I guess, in the order. Or on deck when he's at the dish is going to give him some protection. You could even slot him in a 2-hole, put Yoan down in the 8-hole, and give Tim protection with Elvis Andrus at 2nd. I kind of like the way that sounds a little bit more because Tim swings early and counts, and pitchers are going to have to throw in the zone. They're going to have to pick their poison, and I doubt the way Elvis is swinging right now, they're going to pick Elvis Andrus. Stat today, Elvis is, since coming to the White Sox, is leading baseball in leadoff home runs, or home runs hit by leadoff batter.
Yeah.
Had another one today. Deepest part of the ballpark, I think.
Yeah.
Like their left center, Yohan hit it there. Another guy, for anybody who's listening to this, Tony doesn't like Yohan Moncada. He doesn't like
Giolito.
Doesn't like Luis Robert. Doesn't like Giolito. We'll get to Giolito and Lubob's night.
I like
doesn't
Luis
like
Robert. I just
Grandal.
think Luis is a prima donna.
Kind of is.
But
Been playing real bad this year, especially in the field. But yeah, man, you gotta figure out how to keep Elvis. He's never played second. I don't know what going to his. I guess at second it would be going to his left, right, instead of his right, because shortstops typically go to the right. I don't know if that would mess with him at all. But I mean, some of the plays he makes shortstop. He's big time fielder.
I think he's only ever played short, so it probably is going to be brand new.
I mean, even theory, if you want to get real crazy and keep Rami in the lineup, if you think he's more valuable than Yohan, is you could play Elvis at third every day. And I don't think you DH Yohan Moncada because you're currently DHing Eloy. You're not going to take his bat out.
Well, you're not going to DH a hitter that's 200 batting average. I mean, it might be up a couple points now, but like, let's be real here. If he didn't go 5 for 6 against the A's, he's still hitting 198.
Only guy on the team with 2 5-hit games.
Yeah, so, but I mean,
what's that say? You know what I mean? Maybe he's turning the corner every time he plays a really bad team and a really bad pitcher. You know,
when he wants to take good at bats.
I still think he's the best eye on the team at the dish.
No, I mean, Yaz is a better eye than him.
Oh, yes, he's a catcher.
Yeah.
This is a catcher. He looks at the strike zone all the time. Yeah. And he still can't catch. Only thing he can do is frame, and he's not that good at it this year.
He's not at all.
Yasmani Grandal, $88 million. Can't be mad about it. He played really good the last 2 seasons, so you can't be mad at Yaz. But, no, I mean, I think you put Elvis, you got to keep Yohan's glove at third. You just tuck him in the bottom of the lineup. If he's hot and turning over the bottom of the lineup like that, awesome. If not, it's your 8 hitter. Like he gets 3, maybe 4 at bats. And if it's a night where he's getting a 4th at bat, hopefully you scored a lot of runs and didn't leave 12 guys on base like this team is doing all season and just singled people to death.
That's the
story of their whole year is leaving runners on.
Number 1 in batting average, bottom 5 in almost anything else. That might have changed probably since Tony left, and maybe it is a whole organizational shift where they felt like they needed to get more singles against the Astros last year in the ALDS, so they thought, this whole season they're going to shift to that.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You're not going to win 100. You can do that for a playoff series, like because you're matched with the team for 7 games, but you can't do that over 162. It doesn't work. It didn't work in Miami when Frank Mendocino was there. And Giancarlo Stanton hit almost 60 home runs one year, and they were still 19 in the Major League Baseball home runs.
And that's been his whole thing since
he's been here. Mendocino is hit 300 and hit singles. Everyone's treated like Nick Madrigal.
His favorite quote, "Fuck the home run." Yeah. Nick Madrigal also sucks, and if Nick Madrigal was taller than 6 feet tall, no one would blame him. So that's fact. He's not good.
A single hitter. No, I know. I think is he even hitting 250?
I think he's been under that for most of the season. I know his little 2-strike, getting a lot of hits when there are 2 strikes, has gone out of the window because major league pitchers adjusted to him. I think he's batting like 154.
249 with 7 RBIs in the year.
That's right. It also helped that the guy in the on deck circle when he was on the south side was Tim Anderson.
Yeah,
I'm sure that helped him a lot. We fleeced them because it became A.J. Pollock, and A.J. Pollock is a perfect 4th outfielder for the team. Actually, he's not even a 4th outfielder at this point. He's probably your starting right fielder or center fielder.
Yeah, he is. He crushes lefties too. So
Shifting gears here to the pitching side of things, looking at a guy that I think a lot of people used to look at this team as the ace, Lucas Giolito, this year is posting a 5.18 ERA, 1.49 WHIP, has 139 innings pitched, 153 strikeouts, and 52 walks. Just a brutal year. It felt early like he was getting unlucky, but now it feels like he, for whatever reason, is relying on his slider way too much.
Yeah.
Was doing overlays the other day, pitch tunneling, everything like that. If you overlay his fastball and his changeup, they look exactly the same coming out of his hand. But his slider, way different. He has a different arm slot for it, and good batters pick up on that, and good batters like Carlos Correa and Bo Bichette hit it 500 feet on the I-94 and just post like 20 runs. I mean, I don't know what Ethan Katz needs to do to get it through his head, but you've got to either throw a curveball or get his velo back up and just go fastball changeup for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I don't even think his fastball is that powering enough to. I honestly think he's just a one hit wonder kind of guy. What was the year? He had a great year, 2019.
And last year was, it wasn't
bad, but
this year was just horrendous.
And he doesn't have an elite whip. Like, as a starter, if your whip is under 1.20, you're elite. If you're between like 1.20 to 1.3, maybe 3.5, you're pretty good. Everything after that, you're not a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Especially when you're floating at 1.5.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And I'm pretty sure that when the days he's pitched, bullpen has eaten most of the innings.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of like Dallas Keuchel, which doesn't count because Dallas Keuchel's absolute dog shit. He's gotten DFA'd 3 times this year, and I'm sure he was the one who said those things about the leadership for the Chicago White Sox. Little quotes that went over. I forget who tweeted that out. Same guy, Nightingale. Same guy who tweeted out the Kettle Marquet thing last year. But yeah, no, I don't know. What do you do? What do you do with Lucas this offseason if you're Rick Hahn?
I really don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want him on the team. I don't think we need him. I think we can probably go and sign some free agent, and throw him in our 5 spot because, Cease. I don't know what we're gonna do with Cueto next year, but Cease, Cueto, Lynn, hopefully Kopech strings together a season. What does Crochet ever start? There's
right now Crochet's booked as a starter.
Okay.
Like even next year. Like that's the rumor. I don't know if he will next year. I wouldn't doubt if you see him as like a middle inning two inning guy, or like if there's a doubleheader as an opener.
Yeah.
Maybe with like Raylo tied to his hip. But right now they're saying he's going to be a starter. I doubt he's a starter next year. If he pitched this year, definitely he's going to be your big lefty next year.
Yeah.
But I think Kopech's going to be fine. This is the most innings he ever thrown in a season. Yeah. And I mean, I've said it before, and I truly believe in this. Michael Kopech this offseason should just work on a cut.
Yeah.
It gives lefties a different look because his fastball has so much run that when it's a left-handed hitter, if he misses the spot, it's like middle. And you saw it against the Houston Astros. Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez fucking crushed his fastball, and it was not fun for anybody. But I mean, I don't know if he sticks around 5 pitcher. He's not bad for a 5 pitcher, but it's not great. He's not a playoff roster guy.
It's not even close. And I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a playoff game this year. Knock on wood, we're in, but.
Who are your playoff 3? So wild card, you're playing 3 games. Who are your 3?
Cease, Cueto, Lynn. Just in that order, too.
Do you, if going down the run, Michael Kopech's lights out, do you put him in the bullpen for the first series? Or do you maybe start him game 3 with the hopes that Lance Lynn could, come in and maybe eat 6 or 7 innings before Liam Hendrick goes out there
Yeah,
and
I
pitches.
don't know. It's a good question. I would consider if starting Kopech and seeing what he does over Lance Lynn. But if Lynn is back to what he was doing last year, I don't know. I don't know if I risk it. I think I would
Put Kopech in those
middle to late innings.
Kopech's pitched out of the bullpen before.
Right.
I mean, that was his role last year, which I think he'd be fine with in the playoffs. But if you're going into the ALDS or the ALCS, Kopech's no longer coming out of the bullpen because Lance Lynn is not, or Lucas Giolito is not going to be your first.
No.
Like, you're not giving him a start. And that's my fear, is that Tony La Russa has too much power right now, and him and Ethan Katz are going to plug Kopech in the bullpen for the playoffs.
And start Giolito.
Like game 4 that you'd have to win.
Yeah.
Pulling up Lance Lynn's stats here. I guess even in game 4 in the ALDS, that could be an elimination. Best of 5. I mean, the game 4 doesn't. I mean, game 4 is going to matter regardless, but it's not like an elimination stare down until, I guess, the ALDS or World Series if the team makes it that far. Lance Lynn in his last 7 games is 5-0, posting a 1.43 ERA, a .77 WHIP, and looks like a stud.
Yeah.
He has, 51 strikeouts, 5 walks.
He's looked like last year's Lance.
And looking at Baseball Savant, you could see one thing that he wasn't doing at all last year was throwing a slider or a curveball. This year that went from, last year was at 3%, this year it's up to 25%. If you take the slider and curve, which I think he's throwing more of a slurve, it just, depending on the StatCast, I guess registers as a slider or a curveball. I highly doubt that Lance Lynn has both those things sitting in his arsenal, and we just never knew about it for, coming up on 2 whole seasons.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's just 20 shoot bucks. It's equivalent to whatever that insane 100,000 shoot bucks is $1.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Yeah, but Lance Lynn, I mean, I don't know if Ethan Katz developed that slur with him or if it was talking to Cease, seeing his slider, but that it looks like it's been an absolute game changer for him.
Because he
all season
last year.
And the Astros ate him up.
That was bad.
That was real bad. He was also fat and needed to lose some weight, but that's probably why his knee gave in. And then to our last guy, which since he's hurt his wrist, I no longer think he's an untouchable. I would trade him for the right package. I've been called nuts for saying that. Luis Robert, season stats so far, 291 average, OBP of 327, slugging only 437, is an OPS of 764. He's not looked like the MVP guy that anybody thought he was going to look like this season.
Yeah. I don't know why he's played the last few games, to be honest. If he's going to take swings like that, I don't know why he's in the lineup.
And letting go of his follow-through hand and, or what is it? His front hand, he'll let go and he'll swing through
with his right,
hand, which is the most unnatural thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think the most worrisome stats, if you look at his defensive stats, so in 2020 when he won the Gold Glove, he had +1 defensive run saved in 56 games he played that year. That's a pretty decent. Last year, 2021, he only had a 0.4 run saved, and this year he's minus 4.2 run saved. He went from the 92nd percentile in ball tracking to this year he's in the 29th. And I don't know if that's a Darryl Boston thing, not working with him in the outfield, if it's just not running or into that, but that is the most concerning stat I think I've seen of him, where it's severely hurting the team. He doesn't look like Byron Buxton does for the Twins. You watch those guys in the same game, and it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
What would you do with Luis?
I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as trading him yet. I know I've been pretty angry with him lately, but he's not
I got
on
the text
Yoan
screenshot of
Moncada
him.
level for me. So I would not get rid of him.
Yoan Moncada is the best defensive third baseman in baseball.
It doesn't matter.
You keep him in for the glove. It on this team it does matter because they're really bad at defense. They're bad everywhere. They have Andrew Vaughn playing left fucking field
It's a
every
nightmare,
day.
Yeah.
But I mean, if let's say I don't know if this would happen, but if you called up the Orioles and said Cedric Mullins and Gunnar Henderson for Luis Robert, I would pull that trigger in a heartbeat.
I don't know. I mean,
Mullins is good, but Luis, there's part of me that just sees the MVP in him.
I mean, we've seen it when he basically single-handedly won that Seattle game at the beginning of the season, robbing a home run and stealing bags to get the winning run. But it just doesn't feel like he's that, like we've seen that since. I think that's the most disappointing part of Luis Robert this year. Maybe it's that he had a kid. Maybe it's he hurt his wrist. Maybe he mentally is just really weak. I don't know, but they've got to figure it out with him because if he isn't hit, like, what was the rebuild for?
Right.
Like, him, Yoan is, could argue, I love the guy, but you could argue that he didn't really hit. Lucas, another linchpin of it, didn't really hit. Eloy's hurt all the time. Michael Kopech, like part of the Yoan trade, hurt and just missed a bunch of time. And a lot of these like big parts of this core that was the rebuild is not as young as people think they are. They're just young. People think they're young because they've played half the games they're supposed to because they're always hurt.
They're always hurt. That's the
thing, yeah. And at least when Eloy plays, he's awesome. You know, Yoan, they get hurt this. Eloy probably plays a little less than Yoan, but Yoan just he makes me sick watching his at-bats.
Hey, second in the team behind Jose Abreu in like games played when he's active on the roster, like consecutive days. Yoan behind it goes Jose and then Yoan because Jose plays every day because he's the man. And I don't think Jose Abreu is going to be a Chicago White Sox next year, unfortunately. I think he's going to be on the Houston Astros, and that'd
be terrible.
Sad. Well, Yuri Gurriel sucks now, and Jose Abreu is basically him, but 4 years younger. Yeah. But if Jose's not hitting home runs, you can't be on the Chicago White Sox right now. You got to be about that. Looking forward here, we got. I think with my predictions and Matt's prediction this year, we're probably rocking a record of about 2-200, being right on these games, but might as well shoot for it again here. You've got the Detroit Tigers, Cleveland Guardians. You got 6 games.
Yeah.
What do you think the Sox do?
Oh, man, I would love
to say,
we take 5 or
6, and with 3 being against the Indians, but I don't see it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think we lose both Giolito's games.
The Tigers hit them well.
The Indians, they're gonna hit them well if we pitch Jose Ramirez.
So, I'll take
4, and then back
home against Detroit again. So I don't know.
I don't love seeing Giolito twice in these next 6 games, but
we just give a start, put Cease on like a short rest.
Oh, it depends.
No, because
there's no point.
Cease is going game
1 against the Indians, and those are the games that matter. So.
Oh yeah, Cease is game 1. So what? It's Cease. So we've got probables of what? Giolito, Cueto, Kopech,
Cease, Lynn.
Cease. Go Kopech.
No.
Or not Kopech, Cueto.
Well, no, Cease, Lynn.
Skip Gio's day.
And go Cueto, yeah.
Yeah. Cueto can do it. He's a vet. I'm sure he's done it before. Just let him roll onto the south side in that sweet-ass ambulance he has with the 36 speakers that break
Or
out.
on a horse.
Okay, that thing's... Or on a horse. Imported from his Dominican Republic farm. where him and I guess Lopez, him and Ronaldo,
Really?
just like hang out all off season. But Ronaldo says he doesn't ride the horses. He doesn't like the horses. They scare him.
I think
He scares them just like striking guys out when he was a starter.
Yeah,
Scared him.
exactly. He's looked great out of the pen, though.
Brutal. I don't know what they figured out in Charlotte to make him a reliever, but whoever figured it out,
yeah.
huge bonus. Bring him to the south
And
side.
then Big Jim.
Make him your bullpen.
Those are
coach.
my guys. Jimmy Lambert.
Big
yeah.
Jim. So awful. Another horrid Chicago White Sox starter. I was scared that the Indians. The only reason I'm thinking about this is the Indians were going to throw that kid out today, that rookie, and he was just going to be like, safe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because every Indians pitcher is so
I
good.
know.
Maybe they stole somebody from the Indians farm system that we don't know
Yeah.
about,
Exactly.
and it's just making all these really good relievers.
Well, as soon
How many times have you seen it?
as I saw no
McKenzie today, I was like, all right, we got a shot.
Well, Cleveland's down to 3 of their normal 5 starters.
Yeah. Who
'Cause-
got hurt?
Zach Plesac broke his
Yeah.
hand. He's done for the year because he punched the ground like a psycho
He did
after
that
giving
last
up a home
year, too.
run.
Or the year before.
Yeah. Yep, in 2020. And then they might be getting somebody back. I can't remember who, but the guy's going to need like 3 weeks to figure it out anyway. So
Yeah.
hopefully he blows 2 of the games against the Royals. I can't believe that the Guardians get 6 against the Royals to finish.
I know,
off
it's rough.
this guy.
Well, they got the Rays, but
All at
we
home.
got San Diego, so it's rough.
I'm not scared of San Diego. I'm going to say it right now. Juan Soto's overrated and is just like trash.
That's the hottest
So-
take I've ever heard, but all right, I'm with you.
Hey, he is statistically, and the only reason I know this, Andrew Vaughn is the second worst right fielder defensively in the majors. The only one worse is Juan Soto.
That's funny.
I would have never have guessed that.
So I wouldn't have either. I was like, I wonder how bad this guy is, like how far, like the difference. And I was like, oh, Juan Soto's actually worse than him.
Yeah.
So, we won the Shields trade. 'Cause Tatis hasn't played any games this year. We won not trading for Juan Soto because our farm system would have been trash. It already is. And the Chicago White Sox are going to win the World Series. Rick Hahn's the greatest GM of all time. He just like played everybody. He sandbagged. The guy's not going.
But I don't think
Nobody-
anyone on the planet would say we won the Shields trade. I don't care if Tatis doesn't even play another game.
I will argue for the rest of my life that we won the Shields trade because that kicked off the rebuild. It kicked off the rebuild. If they don't trade Shields, they never rebuild.
Yeah. I mean,
He had a 6.5.
And-
ERA, so.
Hey, you know what, man? You don't even got to worry about that part, right? Because it just started. It got us Yohan, Kopech, Giolito, Cease, Eloy, Adam Eaton's return.
I love Eaton.
The return. Did you really? Yeah, he was weird, dude. He said he looked up to Todd Frazier's kid. Did you ever see that quote? He was like, he's a leader. That kid's a leader in our clubhouse, which is the weirdest thing a grown man could ever
Are you
say, is that he
serious?
looks up to a kid. Yeah, he said it. Like, it was like 20... Todd Father was on the team in 2014, 2015, whatever season that was.
Around
There, I had his jersey. I thought he was going to be the greatest,
the greatest song.
but he was just another Adam Dunn.
The White Sox are really good at bringing guys in past their prime.
yeah.
Like Manny Ramirez, Jamie Rollins, Adam Dunn, Todd Frazier, Griffey, James Shields.
Yeah.
There's another pitcher that was a closer that I can't remember. And he was like, in the 90s, he threw the ball at the guy. I see him in my head. He was on the Big Red Machine on the Reds forever. He threw like 1,000,000 miles per hour. What is his name? Reds closer, 90s.
I have no idea.
Oh, he was a closer. He's like the first one to throw 100 as a closer. How is he not the relief pitcher of the Rob Dibble? They brought back Rob Dibble in the 90s, and he had like a 10 ERA. Rob Dibble was the best closer in the 1990s. Went to the White Sox and had like a 20 ERA for half the season. You brought back Bo Jackson, who was like, all right. White Sox, man, all in on bringing back guys who are really bad at baseball past their prime. It's what Jerry's way.
Yeah.
He's trying to make the Chicago Bulls, but on the South Side. He did it with Dennis Rodman. He wants to see if it'll work in baseball.
He's the most loyal
Guy in history too to his employees.
Loves all of them. Rick Hahn deserved to get promoted to GM.
Yeah.
You couldn't let Kenny Williams Starchild go somewhere else. No other GM could have done the rebuild that Rick Hahn did. Nobody. Not one. Usually we cap this off with a little piece of advice. My advice last week was go and boo the team if Tony La Russa comes back, like throw stuff at him. That's still my advice. If you're at the game and Tony La Russa's back in the dugout, like throw things at him, like your water. Try to get his pacemaker real high up there. Maybe he can't be in the dugout for a week. What advice do you got, Tony? What kind of world advice do you got?
I don't know.
But he break Giolito's hand. Someone get him angry enough to pull a police act, please.
Or if you just see him in public and you can take a real good shot, like if it's flat on a table, really crack down on it. Just for the playoffs, we kind of need to make like 3 starts to wrap up the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on, man. And go Sox.
Go Sox.
Thanks for having me.